Well, as mentioned, the gunman first went to the Edward Waters University, a historically black college, but he fled when campus police approached his vehicle. The university's president, Dr. Zachary Faison Jr, has said he believed the school was the gunman's initial target. I spoke to him a short while ago. Dr. Zachary Faison, president of Edward Waters University, thank you for joining us. My condolences to you and the community, first of all, for what happened on Saturday. How is the campus community reacting to all of this?
Well, thank you for having me. There certainly is a high level of apprehension and admittedly some fear amongst a lot of our students, faculty, and staff. There's some concerns for individuals that might, operate as copycats that want to come to our campus and do harm. So there is some apprehension, there's some fear, as you might imagine, after such a murderous tragedy that's taken place in the shadow of our institution. But we are doing all that we can to support our students, support our faculty and our staff, and let them know that we're doing everything that we possibly can to keep them safe.
Now, it was through the diligent actions of your students and your campus police that nobody was injured. You might talk us through what happened on campus on Saturday.
Yes, and so, kind of summarily, the now deceased perpetrator came onto our campus, and we're a relatively small, private, historically Black university. And so we kind of champion the notion of being a very engaged community that knows each other. And fortunately, a group of students noticed this perpetrator on our campus in a back parking lot where he was putting on gloves and had fashioned what looked like a tactical armor vest. And we have a mantra at the institution, a culture of caring, that we call it, called "If you see something, say something." And these young people did just that. They alerted our campus security that something just didn't feel right. This person didn't appear to be someone that should have been on our campus. And so they alerted our campus security officer, Lieutenant Antonio Bailey, who showed up and really was a hero in showing up and thwarting this attack. When he came on the scene in his safety vehicle, the perpetrator immediately fled the scene, jumped a curb, wanting to get away so quickly. And so, again, if not for the keen awareness of our students and then the quick responsiveness of the security officer, who knows what might have taken place on our campus.
Now, this gunman had no criminal record. He'd been held for involuntary psychiatric evaluation for 3 days in 2017. Police had also received a domestic violence call involving himself and his brother. He had bought these guns legally. What do you make of that whole situation?
As you mentioned, that is kind of the background has been reported by local authorities. Our contention is this, that we do know, based upon the information that's been shared, is that this was a white supremacist who acted as a domestic terrorist. He had a hate for African Americans. And so we know that this was not by happenstance that he first came to Edward Waters University, which is distinctively the state of Florida's first historically Black university. And we believe that his aim was to come here because this is the bastion and birthplace of Black excellence, particularly in higher education in this state. And he wanted to send a message by coming here. But again, thankfully, because of the great work of our students first, and certainly our campus police force, he was not able to breach our campus and cause harm to our immediate university community.
Now, under Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he's banned the teaching of critical race theory in the state, which acknowledges the systemic racism in American history. You've been working with the governor since these incidents on Saturday. He's given you an extra $1 million for security at the campus. What have your discussions with him involved in the last couple of days?
Well, to be very frank with you, we haven't had any discussions around policy. I think if we did, we certainly would be diametrically opposed. My opinion and my view is certainly one that supports the notion of critical race theory. I think it's a historical fact that this nation was born from its inception out of a racist ideology. And so, again, we haven't had those policy discussions. I don't think we would find much synergy there. Our discussions have been around really responding to this tragedy. And I can give the governor credit for responding in not just talk, but some action in providing Edward Waters with about $1.1 million in financial support to help to fortify our campus from a security perspective.
Now, this gunman had about 20 pages of racist writings that the authorities have so far seized. What can be done to keep the community safe from people like him?
Well, I think it starts with places like Edward Waters University. You have to educate. You have to educate. You have to expose. Most folks that develop that kind of ideology out of ignorance. And so it's critically important that spaces of education, and particularly historically Black colleges and universities, we are the disseminators of truth, particularly truth when it comes to matters of race in this country. And so what needs to happen is there needs to be even a more heightened level of support for historically Black colleges and universities around this country, and particularly places like Edward Waters University. So we are calling upon the White House, the Biden administration, state and local government, the business and community, business and corporate community, philanthropic communities around the country to galvanize in this moment and support Edward Waters University and support similarly situated historically Black colleges and universities around the country in perhaps a way that they never have before, because these institutions are absolutely indispensable to the future of America.
Okay, well, we'll end on that note. Dr. Zachary Faison, President of Edward Waters University, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.